Good afternoon, everybody. This is Bob Icino along with Mike Arnold from Path Trading Partners, and this is an afternoon Path Chat covering the futures markets for May 30th. Before we get into the VIX, the transports, the Dows, and the usual that Mike's going to look at for you on the charts, let's talk a little bit about some of the data that came out today. We had a calendar that was chock full of important data, and a lot of it disappointed. Let's start with the German Consumer Price Index, which year over year came in at 1.5, expected 1.6, so a little bit weaker on the economic figure. Canada's Industrial Producer Price month over month came in at 0.6, which was expected at 0.8. U.S. personal income, personal spending, personal consumption expenditures, the core year over year all came in as expected, contrary to a lot of the other data. And the U.S. Case-Shiller Home Index came in a little bit better than expected. But U.S. consumer confidence came in lower than expected by almost 2 points. It came in at 117.9 versus an expectation of 119.5. Last was 119.4. That was actually revised down. Then we had Japanese industrial production year over year come in lower, 5.7 versus 6.1. But we got Chinese manufacturing PMI, which we were looking for because this is the government's number, Chinese government manufacturing PMI. So it's the official one, came in at 51.2, which was a little bit better than expected. I covered some of the other stuff in our FX afternoon Path Chat, some of the things that happened during the day. And we will do an AM Path Chat tomorrow covering the FX markets, where we'll cover tomorrow's news. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and turn it over to Mike to let you know what he's seeing on the charts. Mike, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Bob. Quick VIX update. Ran up today, high of 1084, still below 11, and closing down at 1038. So even with a slight sell-off in the Dow and the S&P, no real fear in the markets. Transports came back, tested our trend line, and then rallied up to a significant level and closed just slightly up. So these are going to be key levels to watch for. About 91.90 to 9200 is key. Getting above that, next level resistance would be about 92.35. Then looking for about 92.50, then possibly up to 93.03. If this trend line does break, then watch for 90, about 90.80 area. Coming in about then 9,060, then 90.25 will be key to the downside. Switching over to the industrials, as I mentioned, slight pullback today, little gap down, closed lower on the day, found some minor support right around this 2120 Gann level and filling the gap. On a continued move down, very key support is going to come in about 20,980. Then we'll be watching to 20,930, where we have a flat but rising 21, slightly rising, so that's the bottom of our rotation zone. If that is broken, we could eventually see a down move to 2830 area. Rally up tomorrow. If we see that, 21,065 first level of resistance, 21,084 next level, then we could see a return to the recent highs right around the 21,100 level. If that is broken, watch for then a retest of the 21,172 area. Over to the S&P, which also pulled back a bit today. Still a larger range than Friday, but still a pretty narrow range. On a rally up tomorrow, this 2,417.18 area is going to be key. If it gets through there, we don't really have anything till we get to 2430. On a pullback, very key support coming in about 2400 to 2402. Minor support is going to come in about 2407 to 2406. If the level at 2402 is broken, watch for a possible pullback to 2394, and then on a really big drop, 2391. And over to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ making an all new time high today. Let's see, I'll give you the exact number. 5803.50. So that's going to be resistance coming in tomorrow to the upside. If we rallied through that, we're looking for 5860 area to the upside. On a pullback, first area of support is going to come in about 5775 to 5772. If that is broken, major support is going to come in about 5747 to 5740. And then if that's broken, we could see 5724, and finally on a big sell-off, 5687. Switching over to crude oil. Crude oil closed lower, rallied up, found some resistance at a prior breakdown zone. That's this area right around this 50.25 level. If we do rally up through that tomorrow, that's going to be 50.25 first level of resistance. Then we'd be looking for 50.80, followed by the GAN cluster at essentially 51. On a pullback, key support coming in at 49.60, significant level. Then we'd be looking for the GAN level at 49 to 49.02, followed by 48.91, then 48.77 to the downside. On a bigger sell-off, next two levels down to 48.45, and then very major support coming in at 48.21. Switching over to gold. Gold, slight gap up today, minor push higher, but closing back down on the significant level coming in at 1265. On a further pullback tomorrow, 1261.50 is going to be the first area of support, followed by 1258.90 to 1258 is going to be very key support. We have a declining trend line, we have a GAN level, and we have a rising 8. Very key support. If that is broken, 1256, then looking to 1254, and on a much bigger sell-off, 1251 is going to be key. Rally back up, minor resistance 1272 area, followed by about 1273.50. Then we could see a push up to 1277. And finally, on a very substantial rally, 1282. And finally, switching over to silver. Silver continued its push up. We talked about this on our podcast this weekend and last week. We've had a series of trendline trades. Next major target area is about this 1768, where we have the slightly drop below that area, 200 day moving average, and then a very significant GAN level there. So before we get there though, on a move up tomorrow, first level resistance is going to come in about 1746, and we'll be watching for 1753, and then finally our full target of 1768. On a pullback, very key support 1722, flat but hooking 50, prior little breakout zone, so that's something to watch for, and right near today's lows. If that is broken, minor support coming in about 1715. Then we're looking at 1713 area where we have a rising rotation zone. If that's broken, I'd be watching for the bottom of the rotation zone coming in about 1703 to 1706. That's all we have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Michael. There is a new Money Path podcast out, so check that out on Google Play or iTunes or on our website. Again, the Money Path podcast, and click like and subscribe if you like what it is that we are doing. Otherwise, we will talk to you in the next Path Chat. Cheers, everyone.